Up? What is up? I am back again. It is your girl Vanna J, and it is time for the culture update. And it is being brought to you by the culture creators. Special shout out to my guys, the culture creators. They're doing big things, and they're bringing you this show right here, which is super cool. This is the culture update, bringing you the latest in the news for the culture. Basically, we're going to talk about everything that went down last week and current events that are happening that are relevant to Black and Brown people and the culture. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you're joining us on Facebook or YouTube or any of the mediums out there, make sure that throughout the show that you hit me up with comments. I love to hear what you guys think about these stories. Not only am I here to give my opinion, but I want to hear yours as well. So we got a great show for you today. We got a full pack show for you today of really great stuff. So I hope you are ready for it. I'm super excited. Let's dive right in. We are going to start the top of the show today to dig into some of the most latest topics that are happening right now. And I just feel like I literally named this segment What's Going On, because I feel like we are all Marvin Gaye right now. We're literally like looking around asking like what is going on, and those are just kind of the times that we find ourselves in. And to be honest, like myself being a millennial, and I'm sure if those of you who are around my age feel like this too, it's like we kind of already felt this coming. We knew this was going to happen in our generation, even though all generations say, oh, it's getting worse and it's getting worse and it's only going to get worse. Like, no, like we've like been born with this in our blood. We knew from the beginning that stuff was about to pop off, and we've been strapped down and we've been ready for the ride. That's why we're able to deal with the transition of things, because we are the millennials. We were born in the millennium, which means that we had the jump of transition of everything from cell phones to your most innovative computers and this and that, and all of pretty much, I would say, like innovation, internet, and all of those things. So we're ready for these things to come about. So we're going to jump on topic right now. We're talking about climate change. We're talking about, basically, I think Erykah Badu put it best when she said, does it seem colder in your summertime and hotter in your fall? Because that is physically what is happening, and it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Take a look at this map you see right here. This is the U.S. drought monitor. This is going to show you, this is as of July 13th of this year, and this is showing you where the most extreme, so if you see where the darkest dark red, that's the most extreme drought, and it's only gotten worse and it's only gotten wider. And then if you think about the things that are happening on the other side of the country where you're experiencing extreme flooding, like in over in New York and like those other East Coast states, then it seems to be very like off balance. So you see all this red, it's like they're getting drenched, like torrential downpours in the east, and in the west, look at how dry it is. So it's awful. We've had some of the worst fires, some of the most extreme fires. We have one of the biggest fires, I think only like 7 or 10% contained. It's one of the largest fires ever in like the history of California, burning as we speak, as I speak. So I just think that like some of the things that are going on right now are seriously real and need to continue to be discussed. Now, what relevance does this have to do with Black people? Well, think about it. If Black people are some of the most marginalized and some of the most segregated amongst all people, wouldn't you think that over time that would affect us when it comes to things happening today with climate change? So take, for instance, all those redlining houses and places in poor neighborhoods where they forced Black people to live because they wouldn't let us buy houses in nice neighborhoods. All those houses don't have sound windows and sound doors that are sealed off to keep heat or cold in or out. You have issues like this in poor neighborhoods and poor people in general, not just Black and brown people, but poor people in general. But it affects Black and brown people more than it does anyone else. It disproportionately affects us. And so these are the problems we're running into. If we look at other crises around the world that are happening as these things are going on. So we're talking about dealing with this climate change, and then we're looking at insane things that are happening in Cuba. If you look at the unrest that has been happening over there, you look at, extreme cases of the coronavirus, Delta outbreak, you are looking at impoverished people, people with out pretty much anything. You're looking at an economic downfall in that country, so to speak. And how does this affect Black and brown people? Well, you look at the things that are happening in Miami, Florida, because of the people that are in Cuba, our Black and brown people in Cuba that are fighting over there against their government, or whatever they're trying to stand up for to have anything. It affects us right here in the United States because we ourselves are also fighting for those people. So then you look at what's happening in South Africa. And actually, if my producer can go back to the last picture you were on just a minute ago, that South Africa, look at this picture. It's complete unrest and rioting in South Africa happening right now due to their president going to jail. And the reason why kind of was really unclear to me. I mean, I guess I understood some of it when I read the story, but at the end of the day, what was understood was that he turned himself in. And now we have mass chaos. And look at this. We have, they also have horrible rates of coronavirus. They also have impoverished people. They have no food. They have, they're hungry. They're dying. And so at the end of the day, people get to a point where they're like, okay, I have to try to survive. I'm about to Aladdin up in this piece because I need to steal to get by. And people don't understand that. When they think people are looting, they think people are always looting like flat screen TVs, and that's not always how like looting works. So you should really do research on that. And then these devastations and these protests and these outcries and these outpours of people dealing with all of these things circle right back around to us here. If you want to talk about things that are going on in the United States, like DACA recently being denied, and the Black people versus Texas. I mean, think about all the people right now in Texas that are fighting for their basically democracy. They're fighting in order to be able to just have an easier way to go to the polls and vote. So it's absurd. All of these things, worldwide issues that are going on, whether they are immediate or whether they're far away or whether it's climate change, all of these things disproportionately affect Black people. And another reason why is because we are disproportionately affected by all the other systems in the world, like the medical care system, like the education system, like the housing system, like all these other systems that we're talking about, where we've basically just had the foot on our head or neck or back or what have you. So we really are going to suffer when we've already had that foot in place, and then catastrophic events come along like climate change or a virus. And of course, these people are already suffering in life worse than everyone else as it is. So you think when a catastrophic event happens that we're not going to suffer worse than everyone else? Of course we are, as Black and brown people. So I mean, I think we should just keep that in mind. But at the same time, I mean, we can't completely forget what we're doing, forget what we are, fighting for, people to realize this and recognize this. And that's why I even talk on this show, is because I want people to realize and recognize the place that America has continued to put Black and brown people in over the stretches of time, and what that continues to do and how that continues to affect us to this day. So there are chronological events that have been put in order to bring us to where we're standing today. And there are a lot of missing pieces in between those links that haven't been filled in. So we're trying to like go back and like fill in those gaps. So let me know what you think about everything that's going on. We have so much happening. Biz Markie just passed away. I mean, RIP Biz Markie, man, a real one. Like, can you guys believe it? Like, so much stuff has been happening in the world. I just feel like it's crazy. So drop me some comments. Let me know what you think about, our brothers and sisters in South Africa, in Cuba, what's happening with DACA. It's being denied. I mean, it's not completely being taken away. However, it's not going to be continuing, and that's going to have effects. So we need to talk about how that's going to affect our communities. And then also the voting situation. I mean, it's just absurd that they're making it so hard for Black and brown people to vote. It was already hard enough as it is. Are we going back to literacy tests and count how many bubbles this bar of soap has before you can vote? Oh yeah, that was a thing. That was an actual literacy test for Black people back in the day. Count how many bubbles this bar of soap produces. Seriously, like, get out of here. Like, let's just cut all the BS and get to what's real. Okay. And what's real is they're still trying to keep us down, and we're not going to have it. We're not going to have it. Our generation's not having it. So let's move on to this entertainment story. Don't forget to drop your comments, guys. I really want to know what you guys think. All right, we're moving on to the entertainment story. And really, the story is not only entertainment, but it's also a bit of history kind of dwelled in. And we're talking about Lovecraft Country. Now, as most of you know, unfortunately, once again, we can't have Jack, and they are canceling Lovecraft Country after one very, very successful season. Now, this is a show that had 18 Emmy nominations, and they're canceling it. So, yeah, it's definitely absurd, and it's definitely insane that I mean, I cannot imagine any show that has been this successful and widely popular, widely over stretch of colored audience, that they would cancel. Now, there have been some kind of like, I guess you could say, inside kind of question marks and theories as to why they would cancel a show like this. So let's kind of dig into the history, and let's dig in to the situation and figure out why it is would you cancel a widely popular and widely successful 18 Emmy nominated show after one season. So one of the, I guess you could call it, theories that I ran across whenever I was researching why it is this show got canceled, which is really not clear as to why it got canceled, which is, I guess, why there are so many theories and kind of like question marks popping up around the speculation of the show. But basically, people are saying that due to the mix of the Black culture as it attains to them digging into their Black ancestry in the show, I guess they're saying that they feel like this is another way of them keeping us from having that realization of the power within our blood. So let me continue. If you've seen the show, spoiler alert coming up. If you haven't, I'm letting you know right now, you need to go watch it. But if you know anything about it, basically, it kind of is like a mix of like bringing the 50s and magic, aliens, what have you, kind of together. Okay, so you would kind of like be like what the heck, like how does any of that even go together? But if you really look at like the root of the premise of the show, which was that in order to kind of like come to realization, come to power, and realize the main character Atticus's true potential, he had to delve into his past, his ancestry. He had to basically unlock the keys to his ancestor and his ancestry and his roots in order to, find the missing piece of puzzles to get rid of the racist white people. And it was great. It was great. He had to find this book that was passed down through his family, all this stuff. It dealt with like magic and this and that. So when I saw the original opinion of the person, they said that, that this show aligns with voodoo, closely aligns with voodoo. And so that got me kind of researching about voodoo, because a lot of people are like, oh, it's voodoo, it's hogwash. It's like, that's such like 21st century, like has a lot of like stereotypes that they put on like voodoo. But I actually did like some real research about it, and it's not like sticking like needles into dolls or like anything like that at all. That's like totally fake. It's just like whenever they say, oh, Black people, all they do is sit around and eat chicken and like watermelon. Yeah, it's just as fake as that is. So anyway, you'd have to do your own research on it, because I don't want to spend forever talking about this. But I will say that what I did find out is that in the religion of those people, and this came from, back in the day, way back in the day, West Africa, we're talking Haiti, West Africa, all that. Basically what they were saying is that the Black people did have their own religion that they established before slavery, that they were practicing. It dealt a lot with spirituality, it dealt a lot with ancestry, and speaking to spirits, and it dealt a lot with a thing that they call like I think it's called like, I forget the name of it, but it's basically attaching spirits to things that are inanimate objects and making them seem like they're alive, like a tree, like grandmother willow tree in Pocahontas, or like, a flower or a plant or a dog or this or that, and you say, oh no, it has a soul because it's alive. That's that. Okay, so these are some of the concepts, and this is just a very, very like skim of the edge scale. I'm not like physically, I did not do a lot of research on this. I'm just telling you what I read in a brief amount of time. But this is the gist that I'm getting, that these Black people of that time believed in. And it didn't have a lot to do with sacrifice or like cutting off chicken heads or like zombie like resurrections or anything crazy like that. And like I did not find anything that suggested that that was actually going on. I found everything that told me that those were fallacies that white culture has portrayed and put onto voodoo, as they say. It's actually called, I think that the correct pronunciation is voodoo, I believe. So anyway, I'm going to call it voodoo because I don't want that attachment to that. Okay, so these Black people had voodoo. This was their religion. They were practicing voodoo. And then here comes the white man, colonization. White man grabs them, picks them up, boom, got some Haitians, these slaves. They had them as slaves. They brought them over. They took them to different places. And one of the places, obviously, that they brought them was New Orleans. So here we have, fast forward to 2021, and we're saying, why is this important? Why does any of this matter? This matters because just me doing a quick 15-minute research into my history being Black, I found out that this was a real religion of voodoo. This was a real thing. This was something that when white people took the slaves and brought them here, they told them they could no longer practice. They told them to completely cut it out. They they pushed white Christianity and Anglo-Saxon beliefs and all of these things onto these people and told them that that was going to be their life from then on. Obviously, a lot of people did not completely drop these beliefs in voodoo. However, they also did mingle their beliefs together with some of the Christian beliefs that they learned. So there were some mixing going on that kind of confuses some religions as well. But as we know them today, as far as New Orleans goes, a lot of those were true practicing Haitians from that were brought here, ancestors of Haitians that were brought, and that was the religion. So why is it that mainstream America would not want us to look into our past and see that there could be some, what is there power in our past? Absolutely. Is there knowledge in that? Absolutely. And there's power in knowledge. So if we knew where we came from, if we knew more about our history, if we knew more about our roots, our ancestry, our culture, our religions from jump, like our root religions, our real religions for us, for our people, then would that be harmful to them as a white culture? Do they feel, of course, inferior to us because of that? Because Lord forbid us have anything of our own. Do they feel like we will have some form of power that we will gain over them in some way? And is that why they don't want us to think about it or research it or discuss it? So let me know what you think. I want to hear your comments. Have you seen Lovecraft Country? What did you think about? I mean, Lovecraft Country itself could be talked about for a long time, just the dynamics of the police and the racism and how they did it with the aliens and everything. It's an insane show. So I would love to hear what you think. Drop me some comments. And then also, what do you think about them canceling? I mean, have you ever heard of a white show or an Asian show or any show existed on the face of the earth that's ever gotten canceled after 18 Emmy nominations? I mean, I didn't look it up, but like, I think that's unheard of. I think it's absurd. And I think if that would have ever happened before in the past, we would have definitely heard of that because everybody would have been pissed about it. No, everybody else has gotten plenty of seasons of shows. We can name them all for you. So, oh man, it just really pisses me off. What do you guys think? I want to hear your thoughts. And we got a comment coming in. The COC for Life says, I think it tells too much of the truth. And that's what I think too. I think it basically is, giving us little insights, giving us little bits and pieces like, hey, this was y'all's people were powerful. Your people are powerful. That's what it's basically telling me. And then it's like, oh wait, you got power from that. You realize you like this Black people. Oh no, give that back. We don't want you to have that power. So I think it's just insane. But once again, we're used to it. And this is why we discuss it. This is why we fight and argue. And this is why, we're in the place that we're in. So That is it for the entertainment news, but I have a special segment for you today. So we're going to jump into that right now, and we are going to talk about basically music. We're going to break down the revolution of lyrical content. And this is a segment that I wanted to do. It basically was just an idea that came from a meme that I saw that was comparing some 90s music to some present day music. And then I thought about that in the term of Black culture and Black music. So I kind of wanted to bring that up and talk about how things have changed. So over the years, if you're a fan of hip hop music and hip hop culture, I worked in hip hop radio for a few years, and I'm a huge hip hop and rap and hip hop fan, and I'm a huge music fan. And I just want to say my music catalog stretches among plenty of genres, just to let you all know. But with that being said, I noticed that over the years and throughout the years, it seems like we are receiving less and less when it comes to lyrical content. And when I mean less and less, I mean less and less that we can actually use or that we can actually take from and gain something from and learn from or relate to, and these types of things. I remember being able to listen to music and being able to break down the lyrics and being able to say, I can relate to this, or this is a story that's being told to me that I can understand or learn a lesson from, and these types of things. But nowadays, you're seeing less and less of that come about. And let's just do some comparisons. And this is just the one up on your screen right now, is just the one we're going to start with. And I'm just going to show it to you there so you have an actual breakdown of the lyrics themselves. So we're looking at Tupac, Keep Your Head Up. And this is going to be versus who is this? Because I don't recognize these dudes based off their faces anymore, and I get all their names mixed up. So this was Lil Uzi Vert. Okay, so basically this song by Lil Uzi Vert's called Dolly, and I'm comparing it to Tupac. Now, are these comparisons really fair? If you want to be like Vanna, like, are you really being fair? No, I'm really not being fair. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I do not listen to these new school artists like that. I hear their radio hits, their commercialized hits. And I'm not a huge fan of any of these new artists. When I talk about these new artists, I'm talking about these Lil Uzi Verts, these Lil Yachty's, every little ninja you've ever heard of. That's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, and by the way, I'm going to be using the word ninja in place of any inexplicit. How do you say that word? I don't even know. I cuss, so I'm not used to saying the bad words. But since we're on here, I'm gonna say my windows tinted. Yeah, they tinted, so you cannot see them. What's in it? I pull up in a new Bentley, so you want to see them. What's in it? Interior, that blank, all red. You spill the tech, won't see the red. So you get the point. Basically, I got tech, one in the head. Got so much ice, I need a sled. My chopper, the stock, attach it. I pull up the Audi, matte black. Yeah, You know, I'm sharp as a tack. Yeah. Okay. So you get the point. Basically, he's bragging. He's saying, you know, he's talking about his girl and calling her the B word and talking about how, you know, she's doing things for him, talking about his car and you can't see through his windows, this Bentley. You know, he's basically just the same old, same old. And this is the issue that I have with some rappers when I was growing up as well, too. Like the issue that I've already always argued about 50 Cent was he always says the same things. Like he always is rapping about the same 12 things. It's like eventually, when are you going to talk about something we don't know? You got what, hoes, girls, you got gold jewelry, cars. Okay, what else are you going to tell us? Like what else do you have to bring to the table? So let's just compare that, which once again, the comparison is really not fair because I don't go into Lil Uzi Vert's catalog and see what else Lil Uzi Vert got besides what's either popular on the radio or what I run into. So it's really not that fair. And of course, Tupac has songs where he talks about, you know, this and that and explicitive things as well. However, he has a lot more songs that are poetic and that talk about something and that tell a story and that mean something and that are relatable than he does nonsense trash. I get effed up. I go to the club. I FBs and this and that. So let's just break this verse down. Tupac, and this is keep your head up. And since we all came from a woman, got our game from a woman, and got our name from a woman and our game from a woman. I wonder why we take from our women, why we rape our women, why we hate our women. I think it's time to kill for our women, time to heal our women, to be real to our women. And if we don't, we'll have a race of babies that'll hate the ladies and make the babies. And since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. I don't know if a lot of dudes caught that when they were listening to this. So let me repeat that. And since a man can't make one, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. So will the real men get up? I know you're fed up, ladies, but you got to keep your head up. So when you're looking at what Tupac is giving us and keep your head up in just that small short verse, and then you look at what Lil Uzi Vert is giving us in some song called Dolly, which I don't even know what the song is even really supposed to be about at the end of the day. It really just shows you the content, the lyrical content discord and the disassociation between what used to be and what is. And that can go across many artists and many different songs. And especially when it comes to Tupac. If you look at Tupac Changes just by itself, Tupac Changes is so relevant to today's day and age. If you break down the lyrics of Tupac Changes, so relevant, so relevant. The only line, and I'm pretty sure the only line of the entire song that cannot be valid in today's day and age was whenever he says, and we have had yet to have a black president because of Obama. That's the only line that is no longer relevant in 2021 from the song Tupac Changes. And let's argue. If you look at other rappers, if you look at other people, I mean, it's just nonsense. If you look at the new rappers like that, I think his name's like XX Extension or something, XX Extension. How many X's? I don't even know. You know, you look at him, it's all about getting messed up, how many Xannies, how many this, Percocet, that. And, you know, some of that other music is trash as well. Now don't get me wrong, it is okay to have like party songs, party anthems, let's go to the club songs. I was in the club getting down to the most ratchet of music back in the day. And I get that. But when it comes to your overall catalog of what you're bringing in as an artist to the table, as far as continually you know, not giving us any real content, not telling us a story, not leading us in any one direction, not giving us anything we can really relate to on a real actual basis. Because how many people can really relate to on a real basis of going out and buying Bentleys and customizing the whip and riding around with you know, this many amount of guns and hoes? Not really. I mean, yeah, you might can to a small extent. You might got a you know, a Glock or this or that on your in your car. That might make you feel like it's relevant to you. You might have you know, a little piece of change or a hoe or two on the side or something that might make you feel like it's relevant to you. But what they're really talking about, we really cannot relate to. So we need more artists in the game that can give us something that we can really relate to these days. I would go on to say that there are other songs, like back in the day, that really, really had relevance to today's day. So I'm talking about like Black Eyed Peas, "Where Is the Love?" If you look at some of the lyrics of that song, it's incredible. It's incredible. Overseas, we're trying to stop terrorism, but we still got terrorists here living in the USA, the big CIA, the Bloods and the Crips and the KKK. But guess what? The Bloods and the Crips and the KKK, really, the Bloods and the Crips, that's not even the biggest threat anymore. Really, the biggest threat is crazy white people out of, I don't even know, pop up out of nowhere that are like Proud Boys and like Oath Keepers and stuff. So you could probably change that part of the song. But yeah, the KKK could definitely stay. But if you only have love for your own race, then you only have leave space to discriminate, and to discriminate only generates hate. And when you hate, then you're bound to get irate. So if you just look at the content of the music of the songs, and then also like I was thinking about like, okay, I was thinking about like, I think it's either Da Baby or Little Baby because I get them both confused. I'm pretty sure it was Da Baby. I think he had a song. It was the relevant one that he just had the woke song that was talking about, you know, police brutality and this and that. Okay. And I really, really liked that song. And I was really happy that he did a song like that. But then I had to take a step back and I had to look at him as a general overall artist. And I had to look at his general overall catalog of music. And I had to be like, it's not enough, Da Baby. It's not enough. You cannot put out one song talking about how, you know, the struggles of the Black man and the Black people and talk about these police and everything that's happening, and then on the next song, you back to that same ninja shit. You back to that same, excuse my French, you're back to the same stuff you started on from the beginning. Okay, the Little Baby, okay, Little Baby. We'll go with that. And you know, the Da Baby might actually have one a woke song as well. I'm not sure, but either way it goes, I just don't see how you could put out something so woke, so real, you talking some real mess for the people, like we appreciate you, and then you go back to just, I'm taking drugs, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm out of my mind, I'm barred out, I'm about to go S this B and that B, and she gonna S my D, and it just you lose credibility and it just doesn't work out, and then that's your mainstream view. Everybody looks at you and they're only going to see that, and then when you put out one relevant song, it's no longer relevant because you're no longer relevant as an artist because you put out so much trash over your entire career. So that's my point. Tell me what you think. Am I crazy? Am I insane? I mean, let me know. You know, I just think that I don't know. I don't, like I said, this is bias sideways because I do not listen to all these people's music. So I don't listen to their full catalog. So I cannot really tell you if they really have like some legit great songs that are really saying something. Like tell me if they do. Like am I missing something? Because most of the lyrics that I've been looking up are mostly trash. I just don't understand. What is this right here? Lil Yachty. This is Lil Yachty. Crystal on my wrist. You don't look like this. Diamonds in that water looking like washing dishes. Bought a excuse me. Bought a flight for two, trying to F some sisters. Hope this B don't share her address. We got 7 pistols. Came up scamming and swiping. You know we gonna hit the road. Be better, act like you know, or we gonna do the most. Yeah, I might cop a crib in the cove. I'm tired of being seen. My beast, she fell in love with them beans. Beans? I'm pretty sure he's talking about drugs. I crashed a Rari on the side of the highway. I thought I was Lightning McQueen. Yeah, off the boot, nothing I can do. Feeling like I got some wings. Bird, skirt. It says bird, skirt. Yeah, hey, bird. Maybach SUV. I'm on the list. Broom. I mean it. Oh, it's mindless music, and this is what kids and teenagers are listening to, and they're like, "Yeah, this is what's cool." And it's so unfortunate that there is not more out here that is actually telling a story or saying something. I mean, look at Biz Marquis. Look at Biz Marquis. Look at his. If you just want to say that Just a Friend, if you want to just look at Just a Friend, which is his main huge hit of all time, if you just look at that by itself, it has more content. It tells an entire story, and it gets you in the mood, and it tells like in the mood of what the artist is going through. I mean, when I say in the mood, like it literally puts you in his shoes. Like, and this stuff just is trash. So I want to know what you guys think. Are you really listening to these little ninjas? All these little ninjas, they got all these little, like Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Baby, Lil, all these little things. I mean, I just don't know. I think it should have been done with and over with Lil Wayne. Like, I think that should have been the end of the Lils, and even like Juice World and all the, like, a lot of them have passed away. Like Juice World, isn't that his name? Juice World, that passed away. You know, the culture likes them. Okay, that's good. I'm glad that someone's enjoying it, but I'm just thinking of, I guess when I think about it, I think of our generation and how our generation held on to our music and took our music. And I'm thinking about my nieces and nephews that are now in this generation and how they're going to hold on to this music and take this music. Does that make sense? And so to me, it's like, okay, are there going to be enough influential songs of their generation like there were of our generation, like even Gangsta's Paradise? And I mean, I can think of so many songs that tell so many great stories, and what it is to be a Black person in general. These are Black people's stories. And are the kids growing up, are we just going to have to give them these old songs to use because they're not going to have any new ones to attach themselves to with actual any, besides going to the club with? So let me know what you think. Drop your comments, and tell me, am I crazy or am I not? Because I just think some of the stuff I think it's nuts. Okay, guys, so that is almost it for the day, but I do have one more extra little special nugget for you from time to time on the show. Being that it is the culture update and we are the Black culture, we do like to support Black business. So I want to give a special shout out to a Black business on today's show. We're talking about Beard Extends. So we're going to play a quick little video for you from Beard Extends, and then on the end of that, talk more. So Beard Extends is a nationwide online store, and they are featured a high variety of high quality and affordable products on their website. So make sure you guys check them out. Their website is www.beardextends.com, and show them love. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about them really quick. They say, our passion for excellence has driven us from the beginning and continues to drive us into the future. The team at Beard Extends knows that every product counts and strives to make the entire shopping experience as rewarding and fun as possible. Check out our store and special offers, and get in touch with questions or requests. www.beardextends.com. And guys, their website is popping. I checked it out. They've got a ton of products to take care of beards, take care of facial, all that good stuff. They've got it for you. Make sure you guys check them out. And once again, that is www.beard, and that's extends with an X, tens with a Z at the end, and .com. So make sure you guys check them out as well. They are our highlighted Black business, and holler at Ashley while you're over there. Ashley will take care of you over there at Beard Extends. So that wraps up the show today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with me, and I appreciate it. Let me know what you think about the show, and if you guys have suggestions of things you would like me to talk about, if there is Black news popping off throughout the week and you would like to hear my opinion about it, let me know. Hit me up in the comments or hit me up with a DM and let me know about the Black stories that you want to hear and you want to talk about, and I will bring them to you. Special shout out to the culture creators once again for bringing it to you. I have been Vanna J. This has been fun, and it has been the Culture Update. We will check you guys out next time, and every Sunday at 7 p.m. Central. Don't forget, every Sunday, 7 p.m. Central, the Culture Update. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time.